Yeah.
The Fox News psychiatrist story. Last week we had the story about Dr. Keith Abloh, who went on Fox News, is a psychiatrist, and he said, well, based on Joe Biden laughing during the vice presidential debate, I think I wouldn't rule out the possibility of dementia or that he had been drinking, both incredibly offensive. One based on laughing, the other offensive because, as we know, Joe Biden's first wife and a daughter that he had were killed by a drunk driver, so incredibly offensive. Now, I got an email from Ben saying, how is it different if Fox News has a psychiatrist on to analyze Joe Biden and diagnose him with potential dementia than if David Pakman has an expert on sociopathic behavior come on and analyze Mitt Romney and says Mitt Romney's a sociopath? Let's talk about this. Let's get into this because there are a number of differences here.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you find the differences to be?
First of all, we're not claiming to be professionals of any sort.
So that's when we make, because we haven't had an expert on to talk about that, but we've discussed and we've said this seems sociopathic.
Yeah, it's just our take on it. That's what we, and if you look at the clip of this guy, he actually says, now I didn't actually study the debate and study Joe Biden.
But I am here as a psychiatrist.
He says he's here as a psychiatrist. He says he didn't even really watch the debate or watch Joe Biden. And he says, oh, well, there might be dementia.
He said, no, what he says is he didn't evaluate him in person.
Right, right.
And he says we've got to consider dementia. There's so many issues here. And the other one is that what we're talking about here is based on laughing. When we say, you know, we know that politicians and CEOs tend to have a higher level of sociopathy than the average population. And we're analyzing actions of Mitt Romney's over a long period of time that not in the facial expressions, even though that is a part of Mitt Romney's bizarre nature, or or laughing. It's really about the things he's done over a long period of time that make us think, given that politicians tend to be high on that scale, I would assume maybe Romney is even higher on that scale. It's very, very different.
We're talking about the clinical definition of psychopathy, and it really encompasses a lot. It doesn't fit with the generic connotation of when you call someone a psychopath.
There's also two other things, which is that psychopathy is a scale in the same way that is narcissism, in the same way that is someone's height. And people are on that scale at different levels. That's very different than a psychiatrist going on and based on a couple of chuckles during a debate saying we may have a man who is demented, who is suffering from dementia. Right. Very, very different things.
Yes. Big difference between saying somebody might have some psychopathic traits and, oh, this man clearly suffers from dementia because I heard him laugh during a debate. Completely different. Completely irresponsible, too.
Absolutely. That's it for this segment, okay? We need to get on to Mike Elk, who's going to talk to us coming up after the break. Facebook.com/David Pakman Show. Check out our Facebook page. Check out davidpakman.com/gear for T-shirts like the one Lewis is wearing. Back after this.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.